And we're here again with Vedui Builders Incorporated, dying to keep you safe. Or something like that. Maybe we need a new tagline like, you die, we get rich. Well, tell me in the comments what you think. So this week we're focusing on underground bases. And not just any underground bases, but ones that have a secure way down for the zombies that will keep you alive and keep them dead. That part is not as easy as it used to be in Alpha 16, where zombies happily stood above and didn't dig down. In Alpha 17, they got the hearing of an owl, can send you through scores of meters of stone underground, and with their enhanced titanium hands, they can excavate a path down real fast if you're not careful. That's why we've been looking at how to keep you safe and how to keep the zombies dead. This time we're doing a really fun Samba Shredder, which leaves you with little danger, little mess, and occasional loot bags to open up. Christmas every week. It doesn't get better than that. It combines the basic fall trap of some 8-drop with blade traps at the bottom. It has dot traps, electric fences, and of course the player could help out at times too. It's mostly meant for keeping the player busy looting and repairing, as combat is somewhat awkward even if it is possible. I will do a walkthrough as per usual so you can see how it's all laid out. It's pretty straightforward, and you'll see how the defenses and traps are laid out. For a more in-depth coverage of the build, the speed build will be up during the coming weeks, so you can check that one out too, accompanied by some relaxing tunes. We will of course test it out with some basic zombies to simulate random zombies finding you, before we proceed to increasing the challenge with the Bloodborne Horde, normal, a high game stage 1, a max game stage 1, and then a max game stage with 64 zombies concurrently. Keep an eye out for weaknesses as I do the testing, so you can consider upgrades and tweaks. And do let me know in the comment section below what you spotted and what's your solution for improving it. This is by no means the final or the best approach, it's just a concept base that I wanted to show and explore. But let's get on to the walkthrough. From the top it's really simple. It is a hole in the ground. Just make sure you keep it open, otherwise it's not much of a hole, is it? You can make it deeper. Just keep in mind that the zombies have their fall damage capped at around, I think, a third of their health points. It's an annoying nerf from the fun pins for no reason other than to nerf all fall traps. There's no logical reason why it's capped. Why is the damage capped? Falling from 10 meters or 100 meters should cause different damage, and doesn't even break their legs. If a player falls down, will definitely suffer a leg break. Really unfair. Either way, I first started this as a 2x3 size. And of course this is a bit bigger. But zombies refuse to come in. It seems that anything other than, well, at least 3x3 makes them reluctant to come in. So I simply hacked away another layer here and another layer there as well on the side, which made them drop down to the ledges and then into the shredder. It worked fine, and I didn't have to rebuild the whole setup and waste time. It does impact the depth they fall, so if I was making this again, I would make it deeper to begin with. Unfortunately, I didn't realize this from the start. So don't make it a 2x3 because you'll have problems. I made all of this from concrete just to minimize some horizontal digging. It's unlikely they will, but just in case. But let's fly down and have a look here. As you can see, I have the 2 platforms that I hacked in, just so that they would want to decide to fall down. And then they will fall down here as well. And let me drop out of the flight mode. And here's where you have all the blades. And I have, well, as you can see, quite a few of them as well. So on these ledges, you could, for instance, put on electric fences, and that would probably be pretty good because it means that they would fall down, they would be bust, and after a moment they will fall down here, and here they would continue to take damage. So we have blade traps at head level, good for chopping heads. We also have down at leg level, and this will give additional damage, and it will take care of any crawlers or any of the spiders. Otherwise, they have an annoying way of passing under these head level ones. So with 4 of them, we have quite a bit of durability to draw on, but you still need to repair them over a long horde. We put in tripwires, and that fires off these darts here. You can see I stocked them with some of the darts. And I have electric fences as well. So the dart traps are dual per lane. So that's 4 total darts per second. So that's quite a bit of extra damage. And the electric fences, of course, give some damage in addition to the stun. And the best part of the stun is that it keeps them in place, keeps them from doing very much, and that will keep them from keep them taking damage from the darts that are being fired and the blade traps. So I put in a bit of a hatch here. I'm not sure whether that's the best way or not, but I put on just so I can show up. I'm a little bit concerned that putting a hatch here might make them pass through it because it's an easy target for them to go through. But let's go in, and you see the back side here. You have the the dart traps, obviously. You have the electric fences, so you have the tripwires. I have my generator, the switch, good for the lights that I put in. And you have the blade traps, but let me turn it off because it's fairly noisy. As we go down, you see here, this is a little bit of an interesting thing. We have the bulletproof glass and I have some 100 pillars. I was experimenting with the blocks that would allow me to shoot up, but would prevent the zombies from falling down. I also wanted to be able to do some looting, and that's actually not extremely easy. Zombies seem to fall through cracks almost like Quicksilver. I mean, even if the gap is way smaller than the zombie, you would expect them to stay up, but no, they fall down. Even if it's gaps that you as a player will not fall down through. I don't quite like that mechanic. I mean, I think that if the zombies fall down, the player should. If the player doesn't, the zombie should as well. It doesn't make sense. Either way, I settled on using this regular square blocks, and I put the bulletproof glass so I can see up, as well as 100 pillars, and that seems to prevent them from falling down. If you find anything better that works, still allow you to shoot through, but also allows the zombies to not fall through, let me know. I definitely like to hear if anyone finds better blocks. I mean, it's probably something we're going to have to test out to see what's the best block combination. So something that is also important is standing here, and that's why I have this diagonal, you can actually repair the blade trap, and that's pretty important because they will take damage throughout. One small downside though is because I put 2, I can't reach to repair the top one here. First, when I built this one, I only had 1. So maybe I can. Yeah, I think I barely can there. But it's not extremely easy to reach through and get the correct angle. I think here, yeah, you sort of can, but it's still pretty difficult. When I only had 1, obviously repairing was easy. When I put in a second one, that became a lot harder. So first I used the half block that was in the center, which worked even better. But then I realized that that's a creative only block, so I end up having to switch over to this kind of wedges that are diagonal instead. And of course down here I have the ramps up to both sides, and this is up to the second side. We see I have the tripwire post, and I have the electric fences as well. Maybe I should do something about that here so I get up easier. And I have the electric fence. This is also a place that I can stand in. Let me see if I can... Right, if I can get here. If I damage these ones, you can also repair them from here. A little bit easier, but you might get bust from unfortunately from the fences, so be careful about that, but it does give a pretty good way to do the repairs. It also means that you can go in and you do your looting here, which is helpful, and of course you can shoot at the zombies. It's a little bit awkward because of the way the access is here. I wanted something that blocks the zombies from getting through, but also gave some access. If you switch it out to, say, iron bars, you will have better access to shoot, but you'll have problems doing repairs. So sort of you have to figure out what's the best way of doing it that allows you to, I guess, shoot, allows you to loot, and allows you to repair. And it's not entirely easy to do that. And let me go down here, and this is sort of where the base area is. And of course, this is where I was underneath. You have the bed, you have your workbench, some chest, you have your campfire and forge, or whatever you want to have. And there's some space. And of course, you could easily just expand it here. That's not a major issue. I also put in a way to get in and out, which is basically just a way out here. Let me go out through this corridor, which I haven't fixed up in any way. It's just to show. I have a hay bale for the bottom of it, and use the hatchvator to get up. Pretty simple. You have this one to get down. If you can go down. Nope. And of course, it's not as easy as it looks. Yes, now I get down. Right. So this is just a quick way to get in and out of the base. Of course, you could go through the shredder part, but you might get shredded, and that might not be the tastiest way to do it. Another important thing is that make sure you paint your base. It's really important. It might not help you keep you alive, but a coat of paint, beyond smelling wonderfully, it also keeps you mentally sane. It might melt your brain and turn you into a zombie if you sniff too much of that paint, so make sure you keep it well ventilated at all times. The fans help to move some air up and down, and that can help with the smell. But of course, if you just have normal concrete or cobblestone, it looks kind of drab. So make sure you do some painting. And of course, I wish I had some paintings. Maybe I should put some up here. That would be pretty cool. So with that, let's do some basic zombie spawns. And let me turn on the... Right. So here everything is turned on. And let me see, I have the right mode. No, I don't. Let's do this. Let's go up here. Let's turn some zombies on. Let's do some feral. Feral. And let's go down again. And let's shoot up here. Oh, they heard me. They come down. And they get wasted. Now see, we have a crawler here. And the darts took him even if the blade traps don't. And well, that was a little bit faster than I expected. You see they fall down and yeah, everything is good. Let me see here if I can go in and repair here without triggering the traps. Yeah, I can. As long as you're a little bit careful, you can go in and do your... Okay, you have to wait until that one is gone. And then go out. Of course, you want to make sure you don't start triggering it because that might be a little bit painful as well. I think if you stand in the middle, the traps will not shoot you either. If they do, then don't blame me. If you get dead, not my fault. So you saw that was really simple. Now, this is how the normal zombies are. If they're just wandering around and they hurt you, they tend to just pat down here because that's the easiest way to get to you. And they probably will not be digging. But let's do... okay, let's repair this one because I shot it. You can repair this one from underneath as well. But let's do a normal game stage, a 450, 490 game stage Bloodborne Horde. And let me come back in just a moment with that. Okay, we are now at game stage 490. And we should have a horde coming in here as well. See if we have... Yeah, here they're coming. And they happily walk down on the ramp. Walk down here. And you can do some shooting here as well, as you see. It's not entirely easy to see everything that is happening. Let me go up here on this side. See if that gives me a little bit of a better... Get a better way of shooting. Yeah. And... yeah, no, they're still falling down. Just slowly. And you can shoot them here. It's a bit difficult to get headshots, unfortunately. Body shots are pretty okay. And you can go in and go like, yeah, let me do my repairs. Which might be important. And of course you can also repair these, you see the electric fences. You can repair this one. If you really need to, you can go on the other side. And just restock the dart traps as well. Turn them off, restock them, and turn them back on. You see it's pretty easy. You can do, let me do my repairs here. Unfortunately, the blade traps can take a fair bit of damage from the reflected damage. So you have to keep repairing them. And that's one of the downside of all the, you see this one, they take a fair bit of damage, especially on the right side. Probably because they're trying to go for the... maybe the hatch there. And yeah, so it works pretty well. I haven't gotten any loot bags yet though. I don't think so. It would be nice if we got a loot bag so we could show off looting. Nope, still nothing. See there coming more. And if you had, unfortunately you can't melee very well here. Maybe if you had a machete or something you could go through here. I don't think club or sledgehammer would be a good idea. Still no loot bags. But you see, this is a normal horde. It works fairly well. It does take some resources to keep repairing the blade traps, but that's unavoidable. Unfortunately, they take so much damage and there's no upgrade. I wish there was an upgrade on the blade traps to make them, well, give them more durability. Give them like the durability of steel. Right now they have like 2,000. I mean, that's like iron. That's not steel. We need something that gives us the durability of steel instead. Oh, was that a loot bag? Sounded like it. Yes. Finally. So, we showed we can do some looting here. Perfect. Thank you for obliging. Alright, let's pause that one here. So, with a normal Bloodborne Horde, not a big issue. Of course, I'm burning through some of the ammo just to show how it is to shoot here. You could just let all the traps take care of and just spend time repairing instead. But that's also... Oops. That's perhaps not the... Oh, was there another loot bag I didn't take? Oh yeah, it was some more food. maybe not the best. You don't want to repair these ones because they were just concrete. They'll take a while before they're set again. But anyway, let me do a much higher game stage one, still with 8 concurrent, and you'll see how that one turns out. Alright, everything is repaired to pristine condition, and game stage is almost 17,000, and we're having 8 concurrent zombies. So it's a higher game stage, but still only 8. And let's see how that goes. I think we're going to see a lot more radiated, which really is going to tear through the blade traps a lot faster. Which means you do have to repair. Let's take him out. If you can take out the legs so they fall, it's a lot easier to headshot them. Because he's already dead. Alright, there's a... Alright. Spider. Let's see if we can take out the spider. Now, the more radiated you get, the harder it is, simply because they have so much health points, so the damage that is taken to the blade traps is so much higher. And this is where you see the amount of parts that you need to repair is really high. Let's see here. If we can get headshots, it definitely helps. But you see, even the cops get taken out really fast. Okay, I think one of the spiders is here. Alright, and he's dead. Let's see, then keep on coming here. No issue. If we just help soften them up as well, that makes it easier. Especially you want to make sure that the cops are taken care of. But you see, this one is down to 1800. This one is pretty alright. 1800. This one, they're bashing this one to get through, so you have to be careful about that as well. See if I can reach this one. Yep. So they're all deciding right now that the best way to get through here is on the right side. And it really depends on how you have your base built up. They probably figure that if they can get through here, they can get out. That's why they're all sort of gravitating to the same location. And that's why this one takes the most damage as well. And yeah, see, and I think I can reach this one too. Yes, I can. Loot. Now everything is dead there. And do the repairs. Oh, that's alright, not too bad. So depending on where how your base is out here, you will generally see them gravitate towards one side, and that's probably where you want to make sure that you are using reinforced concrete. Maybe steel it up, and maybe make sure that you have an easy way of repairing on that side, because that's the side you want to make sure that it doesn't break through. Oh, well, let me get this loot. Yes. Oh, I've never gotten these ones. How do they look? Oh, not very good here. They look cool. Whoa. Okay, let's not get distracted. Okay, let's see how this one is holding up. No, it's fairly well, actually. So even with the high game stage here, they are doing fairly well. The occasional headshot doesn't hurt, but the blade traps do a lot of damage, and you see that you'll see that the dart traps do fire, but as they gravitate in there, they also get outside of the blade traps. Oh, sorry, the dart traps' effective firing arc. So if I was doing this, I probably would also considering having a dart trap on this side that would fire straight out. Right, that would fire along here, because they all seem to go in this direction. And then you could sort of have blade trap from this side and blade traps firing across here as well. That would deal even more damage. You could do that on both all the 3 lanes. Maybe not the middle one, because that's where the blade traps are. But you definitely could do on outside lanes. So you used to see the zombies are sort of gravitating, definitely going on that, well, this corner. And this is where you see there is damage being made. Yeah. Just have to keep repairing things. Get this one. But it's quite doable, actually. It's surprisingly doable. I mean, this is where they're doing all that damage. But it's not super bad, actually. I mean, this is just concrete. But they're trying to break through here, which actually is better than trying to break through the bulletproof glass. And I think that was another loot bag, if I'm not wrong. Yep. And nothing. Empty loot bags? Why am I getting empty loot bags? Oh no, we got a wormy. We got a worm. So this is definitely doable. Oh, and let me hold this here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch it up to 64 concurrent zombies, and we'll see how that turns out. Alright, another Bloodborne Horde, which is still game stage. Almost 17,000, and now we have 64 concurrent ones. I foresee them just eating through all this, because if there's so many here, let's do a quick look here. I don't think the traps will be able to keep up. Let's not shoot first and see how that goes. Do some damage. Yeah, it's definitely a lot faster, you see, with all the radiated ones. Even repairing, I don't know if I could, I mean, even if I was standing here repairing it all night, I don't know if I actually could do that. Because, well, there are just so many. You see, they're blocking. I can't reach into repair here. I can't reach. This one is okay. It's alright. It's so many that it's really blocking. If I go up, yeah, this one is starting to fail. This one is okay. If I go back here and keep these ones, yeah, you see they really take so much damage. I mean, it's you can, but you notice it's not easy. It's got to be a really hectic night if I have to go and repair this the whole time. It works. Actually works much better than I thought. I thought that it was going to fail already. Okay. Oh, one exploded. See, that might have... What happened to the blade trap here? Yeah. Blade traps are gone on that side, and that's the problem. When you have that many... Oh, yeah. So this is where it's going to fail. So what happens is that with so many, the blade traps and the dart traps is not able to keep up. So it will not kill the cops before they explode. And when the cop explodes, well, you saw he takes out the blade traps. And if he takes out the blade traps, yeah, now they're through. And that's it. Because the blade traps are really needed in order to keep them away from here. I mean, you could double up the... I could double up the... And they're so gonna kill me here. Okay, stop. Kill all, die. Whew. So you saw, it's really tough. It's really the cops that is the problem. The other ones probably would be okay because the damage that they deal is pretty consistent. But yeah, I mean, they take out the blade traps and then they go here and take out this block here. And like I said, even if you double this up, they'll go through really, really fast because with the horde, it's called the horde damage bonus of 10% extra with 60 zombies or 64 zombies here. I mean, they're doing literally, you know, 1,000 or more per hit for the cops, for instance. I mean, it's going to be insane. These ones are okay because most of the zombies are actually gravitating to this side because they want to get through. This apparently is the corner that they really hate and the side they want to get through. So let me turn off the power here to get a little bit more quiet. Okay. Oh, there was a loot bag. I keep getting empty loot bags. I think something really must have broken here because all these empty loot bags I don't think is intended. So what do you think of that one? So as you can see, there are a few caveats here. Radiated with their immensely boosted health points and healing, they can really wear down your blades really fast. You can repair them, but as you saw, the big problem is comps exploding. If you have too many, the blade and dart traps will not be able to target the comps, so they will explode, and then they take out the blades, and then that's it. In a small area that do so much damage to everything around, it's just a disaster. They pop, and that's it. If you noticed as well, I did not protect my dart traps. Now, it's not a major problem right here because they tend to go to this side. If I was doing this properly and I want to see if anyone's going to catch it, I would put them behind arrow slits. Arrow slits are good because you can upgrade them to steel and they can shoot through them just fine. Unfortunately, you can't really protect the blade traps. And since there's no steel durability mod upgrade yet, the 2,000 health points they have will not last that long. So this sort of works for a while, but you really have to ensure that you're repairing it. We really need something that's working better with later and larger hordes. And I don't understand why they would limit them to 2,000 health points, because it makes them among the worst traps there is total. The dart traps, as long as you keep them stocked with darts, they can last a whole horde. Blade traps, definitely not, and they're so expensive to repair. Now, what you could do if you wanted to still do this, you could have a corridor that leads out to the side, maybe with a stairs down, with an open stairs down, and you fill that corridor sort of as a kill corridor, just like the previous one I did at the entryway. You put your dart traps there, you maybe put barbed wire, you put your blade traps, maybe some turrets, and that ensures that even as they blow up and destroy this one, let me go in. Can I go in here? I got stuck. Let me do, no collision, I would explain this. Let's say you have here. Let's say you have a corridor here that basically, of course you would have to close this one off. You put a corridor here so that when they break through here like they did, they want to go over here and then they want to go down or something towards the rest of your base, and you have that as a kill corridor. That would also work. For instance, you could wrap it around something like here. Let me just take this out. So you could wrap it around here so that they try to come out here and then they run around and then try to come back into. That gives you a lot more time to have additional traps that can take care of them for when the blade traps here fail. And that would be one way to sort of mitigate the loss. And then you have these corridors that you can trap with dart traps and electric fences and whatever you have. And that would allow you to sort of survive longer, because the problem is here is that once the blade trap goes out, they bash through this one, falls down into your base, and that's it. But overall, I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It's I want a passive way to handle zombies, but also that allows you to loot them, because you need access to the loot bags. And I like to use the different traps. As I mentioned, big downside is repairing them, and the blade traps is really expensive. It just bursts through the parts. In order to make parts, you need duct tape. To make duct tape, you need glue. To make glue, you need bones, and we simply don't get enough of those ones. I mean, killing hundreds of animals just to get the glue to make duct tape for these parts that's not going to be sustainable long run. But I hope you enjoyed it. Try it out. Let me know in the comment section what the ways you would improve it and tips to make this better. And of course, since you survived all the way to the end, leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you again next time.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.